What's going on, good people? Rich here.
School in the building. What's happening?
Hey everybody, it's your girl Ray P.
Hey, Ray funny, man.
Ray
Ray
Pizzle.
funny. Y'all already know that though, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Culture Garden Podcast. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We appreciate you joining us for another week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, we cannot do any of this without you. Before we get into today's episode, it's crazy because there's always a couple things that happen that make me like really wish that we had a current events movie type of podcast because that Blindside shit was like crazy to me.
Hey,
Especially considering the fact that school specifically has always said, I mean, going back to when this film came out, I am not watching that shit because there's something wrong about this. And school has the fact that this story came out, I immediately hit him up.
Okay.
Yeah.
and my thing with it is every clip that I've ever seen of this movie, Michael Orr seems a little off.
Slow.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm just like, damn. And then I seen interviews with this man and I looked him up purposely. And this man's talking like we talking and communicate like we saw.
Yeah, they did him dirty. They did him dirty.
So
Yes.
a couple things that I want to say. I absolutely love The Blind Side. And I know white savior tropes, they got this nigga looking crazy. You're absolutely correct. But Sandra Bullock is one of my white queens. So
Yeah, this was when she had a run too. Like this, she had a second run during this time. The proposal came out a little bit after this. Yeah.
I love that movie, but I, like you, school, knew that foolishness was afoot. And I know that Hollywood is gonna be Hollywood. And I remember after it came out, Michael Orr said that he didn't like his portrayal in the movie. Like, no shade to the actor, but he did not like the way that his character was developed in this, that, and the third. And I saw something the other, and I knew that back then, you know?
Yeah.
And so I saw something the other day, and it was more or less like he somehow got his mother, quote unquote, Leanne Tui allegedly, I don't want to say swindled, but got him to donate his movie profits to her charity. Like, it's a lot of funny shit that goes on. I also saw that, we mentioned school, you mentioned that he came off a little delayed or less than smart, but he's actually like gifted.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? Like, I know Hollywood again is gonna be Hollywood, but that's crazy. And to think that you've been adopted only to 20 years later find out that you actually were in a conservatorship is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And that's the crazy part too. Like, people were acting like he just found this out in February.
Right. It's news to him
this
too.
Is news to him too.
You know, all I gotta say is this. Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
But you would. You don't know.
Hey,
I would have never. As soon as some niggas would have tried to adopt me, I wasn't going for none of it. Nah, I'm cool. We could keep the arrangement. Let me sleep on this bed real quick. we don't need no paperwork, my nigga.
I'll break you off. Together, straight up.
I don't.
But I feel no. I'm not victim blaming. I'm not victim blaming. Yeah. I get it. You know, that is a tough spot to be in, and I'm saying this jokingly because obviously I probably went for less when I was 17 and 18.
Right.
But yeah, it's just a crazy situation, and it's even funnier to me just because of school and his history with this movie and why he's never watched it. When it came out, it was just some wild shit to see.
And so, have you watched it, Rich?
Of course, I went to the theater. I saw this in Franklin Park. I was there. Sandra Bullock, shout out to her. Hey, I remember saying she deserved that Oscar when she won, even though the movie got some it's some bullshit.
Yeah, and so consider this, having seen the film. And this is no spoiler because, again, this movie is umpteen years old.
Right.
And based on real life.
And based, allegedly, on real life. On somebody's life. I don't know.
Yeah, not Michael Orr's real life, because I don't know where they pulled him from. But
school, the NCAA pulled them up because they knew foolishness was afoot. And he was like, nigga, this is my family. He
He's
really
insane.
loved them good white folks.
Yeah. See, it's nope, I can't watch it, man.
It's
I think this is like Precious with you, Rich.
What's that?
I said,
yeah, I've never seen Precious because of the same shit. I just said I refuse to watch that. I'm not watching Precious ever.
Have you read the book?
Like,
Push?
No, like when y'all do Precious for Culture Garden, like find a sub. I'm not doing it.
The book is amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
Amazing. So
yeah, man. But I didn't want to take too much time with that. It was just such a wild story and it involved the movie in a sense. And obviously it was very popular. So I wanted to bring it up. And I also wanted to be a little bit cheerful before this next news, which we would be. The purpose of our podcast wouldn't even it would go in vain if we didn't stop to recognize I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm kind of stuttering through it because there is no word for Clarence Avant.
Clarence Avant. Yeah.
I don't Titan doesn't seem like enough. Like icon, legend, pioneer doesn't seem like enough. I don't even want to try to spend too much time discussing them because there's not enough. He's the type when we speak about actors and filmmakers and like icons, he's the type that would need his own episode, maybe even a part 2, to go through his accomplishments and all the things that he's touched. 92 years old. I mean, what a life lived.
Yes.
What an impact made. Just as somebody who was a guiding light for so many people who look like us that were trying to turn their talent into opportunity. And not just for the big screen, but what they can do beyond that and what kind of lives they can touch and impact. So if you've never heard about him, which I understand, he's
behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's behind the scenes kind of person. But there is something on Netflix, The Black Godfather.
Yes. If you still have access to a Netflix, go ahead and watch that.
Straight up. Good point, Ray P. If you still have access, man, please go look up, do your research. He means so much to the culture, and
absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Avant. Job well done. Yes. Condolences to his children, family, loved ones, everybody immediately impacted by this, and obviously all of the lives that he's touched. I don't know if either one of you had anything to say, but I had to make sure we did give him his flowers and love.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that with giving the flowers. And one of the things that I just want to add is when we have those discussions about sometimes things not getting done because we're not in the room, and he was in the room. Like he was the one that's for us in a lot of those rooms. And I just, man, my flowers and condolences to his family, man. We lost a pioneer, legend, all of that.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I want to continue with the flowers, but in a positive sense. Okay. I don't know if either one of you are aware of where I'm about to take this right now.
I have no idea.
It is an anniversary in a sense for the Culture Garden podcast.
Okay.
Today we're recording it is August 16th. This Saturday will be August 19th. August 19th marks 1 year since the trio decided that we were going to take this seriously, that we were going to get a routine, we were going to get a schedule, going to release weekly. Take our breaks when needed, which we do at the end of every quarter. But officially 1 year this Saturday, we have released an episode every week other than scheduled time off.
Yes.
And, you know, Culture Garden, our intro episode, School and Myself, September 16th, 2020. And I've said this before, we released 18 episodes from September 16th, 2020 until July 28th of 2022. So almost 2 years, 18 episodes. Didn't have any kind of direction, was just kind of, you know, for lack of better terms, fucking around with it. And obviously we got Rachel in the fold at the end of 2021, and even the first few episodes with her, you know, we didn't have anything set in routine. It was just still something fun. But everybody out there, you guys listening, you kind of sparked us. You know, we got some people that really like what we're talking about. They love films the same way we do. Let's take it a little bit more seriously. Let's try to hone our craft. And then we started with, I think, July 28th was our first YouTube video. It was Set It Off. I remember that specifically. Okay. And then after that, our first episode was August 19th. It was Love and Basketball. And ever since then, we've been on a roll. And I just want to kind of stop and take time to thank both of you for your incredible, tireless work. For those who don't know out there, this is something that is extracurricular for all of us. You know, we all have lives and careers, and as you're trying to build something, obviously, you kind of got to start from the ground up, and there's no monetary gain at the moment. Hopefully one day get some sponsors and all of that, but we do this for the love, and we do it for y'all. Continue to tune in every week. So obviously school and myself started Culture Garden. I mentioned back in that 2020, just want to thank you, man. Your growth has been incredible to see you lock in and really have a vision for what you want to do. Obviously just helping me in ways you probably don't even know, just as far as like just trying to put something together, trying to make sure things run smoothly, trying to take a step back myself and let people kind of grow their own wings. Like all of that, man. I'm really proud of you. I told you earlier, just in life, just proud of, the father you are and everything like that, man. So I just doing this we're at episode 63 right now. That's so dope. Ray P, I done told you like straight up, like Ray P, you are my favorite podcaster. Like no lie. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about local. I'm talking about everybody who speaks in the microphone. You came in out the gate, and I told you this before we ever recorded. We first did We Got Y'all. That was the first thing we ever recorded like together. Other than Best Man. But a whole project. And I remember telling you, like, you are natural, like you are going to do great at this. And from episode 1, Best Man, the first time you ever recorded a podcast, period. I know I can speak for school and say we blessed to have that experience with you. Shout out to school for being the one to say, let's bring Rachel on and make her a third.
Shout out to you.
Just for like I said, continuing to grind with us and grow with us. What you're doing, We Got Y'all, and what you're going to do beyond that. Like, I can't wait to see it. I'm such a fan. School, the same with you, even with 90%. A new podcast will be rolling out here soon. Just both of y'all just kind of expanding and seeing where this can take you. Like, I'm genuinely proud of you. I love the both of you, and I can't like tell you how much you've helped me out and continue to help me live out a passion of mine, which is Culture Garden and everything in between. So shout out to y'all, man. I just want to give y'all flowers.
Well, first off, I appreciate that. And I appreciate both of you heavily. Rich, like I can't even put it in words, what that means to me and what you mean to me and my family. Same with you, Ray. Like the second you touched that mic and you spoke, I said, oh, this is it. Like we got this lady on here at even if you wasn't on every episode, I said any episode where's a woman's point of view is necessary, Ray P's on. Like we have to have her on here. I'm just glad that we're where we are, and like you said, start taking it serious and just, man, I think the sky's the limit, as they say. I know that's cliche, but it really is the truth. Like the sky's the limit. So I'm proud of both of y'all, man. I really am. And what you do outside of the Culture Garden.
For sure.
Appreciate you.
For real. Because Rich, man, if they don't know, they need to know. Like you
appreciate you.
Yeah.
And you don't lay off the pedal. You feel me? Like you give 110 at everything, period, in life. So you are my motivation. And when I call you out, one of the first things I usually say is trying to be like you. And I know niggas say that just to say it, but I really mean that shit. That's my dog.
And what I always tell you, School.
Hey, chill.
Nah, be better than that.
Oh, be better than that. Yeah.
I always say be better than that.
Definitely chill.
I was about to say too, you said 110%, man. Everything but these relationships, man. I'm getting better though.
Well, there's that.
We all got our thing.
Not to belabor the point, because we have a show to do, but thank you guys for the Culture Garden, for the flowers. Thank you for accepting me on here and letting me come run my mouth with y'all. It's been a pleasure. Low-key, I love this shit.
You're great at it, man. You are a star.
Yeah,
a star, man.
I love y'all. I thank you for accepting me and motivating me and pushing me to, get out of my comfort zone and really get on here. I was telling Rich earlier, like I actually hate video as much as I'm camera ready. No, I hate it, and I know that it's a thing in this space now. So bear with us as we all adjust, y'all. But I just really appreciate y'all and thank you for bringing me in. And let's keep rocking.
Let's get
Absolutely, man. Still got a lot of work to do. Like I said, only episode 63. Cheers to you. And it's funny you say that about the camera. Like, I think all of us are doing something that at least one thing that we find uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, things that you have to do to make successful, media and content. I don't like being on social media, none of that shit. Like, but we all stepping out our comfort zone. Recording with you guys, and we'll get into things, but recording with you guys has opened up doors for me with other people.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Mo, shout out to Spike.
Yeah.
Good Earners podcast. I've been a guest on Another Week in the Books. Those are my guys, man, and we are brainstorm and create things and help each other out. So, it's all been love, and most importantly, man, everybody listening. Like, I know we say that every single week, but seriously, there are weeks where my tank on E, man, I ain't got it. And we'll get a message from one of y'all just saying, yo, I just listened to this episode. Y'all dope. I'm glad I stumbled into it. Yep. Or, new followers telling us and actually giving productive feedback and telling us their thoughts. And, shout out to AJ. She was talking about loving basketball. Said, shout out to Rachel in school for getting rich together. When he said Q ain't love Monica like that. Like, she's been listening to a ton of stuff, man, and giving us great feedback, push back on certain things. She really loved Crooklyn. She's from Brooklyn. Shout out to her, and please continue to like, subscribe, share. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Thank you, man. For real, we do this for y'all. We're gonna continue to grow this community. Anytime we reach out, we always make sure we tell you y'all are family.
For sure.
So today is a fun episode. We're gonna get things rolling. I know that was a long intro, a lot of pleasantries, but I felt the need to do it to make sure we gave our flowers. That's the whole point we created this. But
I'm gonna pause you just before you jump in. I just want to say before we start, I've been accepting y'all IG friend requests.
Hey, me too.
I told y'all I would accept them.
Yeah, man, make yourself known. Don't. I think it's a good time for another disclaimer. Do not just jump into the follow button with Ray P. Make yourself known. Say something on the Culture Garden page. This is such and such. I want to follow. And I'm not saying you gotta
not like that, because I'm not Hollywood like that.
Yeah, it's not like that.
That's weird.
But I always tell her, man, her friend request is like Bane's prison, man. It's just hard to get out of.
It's 300 people in there, so
yeah.
I might take a look. I might not. A lot of it is spam, guys. So you're gonna have to say something.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Got a lot of Bitcoin investment trader guys.
Trader.
Yeah, man.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3. Get the fuck on. Okay.
But
sorry.
Before we get started, there will be spoilers and there will be explicit content, as you've already seen. Today's film, Rachel.
Yeah.
Is your last name Breuer?
No.
I just want to give a quick shout out to obviously we're talking about Boomerang. You've seen the title. An absolute. I can't wait to really dive into this. We're gonna have some fun with it. I want to give a shout out to Bryce. I believe his name is Bryce. It's Bryce Tober on Instagram. He hit us up actually a week that Rachel was picking, and Rachel had, I forget what movie she actually picked, but Boomerang was her second choice. And he hit us up maybe the same week. And I was like, man, you would not believe that we almost did Boomerang, because he said that's his favorite movie. He had a request for us to do it.
Yep.
And obviously here we are. So you're a part of that, Bryce, for I guess accelerating this film, because we almost did it for 50, and I was trying to hold on to it.
Yeah.
And then AJ, as I mentioned, she's been talking on Culture Garden page and just happened to have the what's your favorite movie conversation. And this is in her top 3, along with Love and Basketball and When Harry Met Sally. So I said, man, that's crazy, because we're going to be doing Boomerang. I ain't telling what movie, but we're doing one of those movies this week.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. We're going to have trivia sprinkled throughout this episode. There's a ton going on. But Rachel, this was your week to pick. Why did you choose Boomerang?
Well, because of Bryce.
Straight up.
No, like you said, it was on my list of things to do. And I love Boomerang. It's interesting watching it from a critique perspective versus just to enjoy the movie for the last 30 years, But that was it. I just wanted to do it, wanted to talk about it, want to talk about Eddie Murphy being fine back in the day. And Halle Berry, I just love Boomerang. And I feel like everybody has a good Boomerang story or School Year Married, so I won't ask you. But later, as we get into it, ask Rich if you got a little Boomerang situation. let it go and came back. That's how strong it was.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of conversation. I got questions, but
sure.
the synopsis of the film: a successful executive and womanizer finds his lifestyle choices have turned back on him when his new female boss turns out to be an even bigger deviant than he is. As far as stats go, the film was released July 1st, 1992, directed by the great Reginald Hudlin. It was his second feature film after House Party. House Party was a big success. We've already done that film. Shout out to Brian. And also shout out to Brian for explaining that his dad had the Boomerang soundtrack. He also directed The Great White Hype, which anybody that knows me, Great White Hype is one of my favorite sports movies and movies in general. I love that film. Like, so many stars in it. He directed The Ladies' Man, an episode of The Office, 11 episodes of The Bernie Mac Show. He wrote the screenplay for Bebe's Kids. He wrote an episode of The Boondocks. I think the screenplay not the screenplay, but he produced Django Unchained, if I'm not mistaken. So he's had his hand in a lot. The film was written by Barry Blaustein, David Sheffield, and Eddie Murphy. Had a budget of an estimated $42 million, the most for a black film ever at that time. 1992, 42 million. Made $131 million worldwide, 13.6 million opening weekend. It was the 18th highest grossing film of 1992 and the only top 20 film to have a predominantly black cast. So it definitely made its return and did its thing at the box office. It's currently streaming on Pluto. You don't have to have an account on Pluto. It's free. It's on demand. It does have some ads and commercials, but you can't stream it. Or if you're a real one, you own it.
Man.
So Boomerang's a classic. It's one you should own.
If you a real one, you got the soundtrack too.
You got to, man. That's a must. As far as awards go, for the BMI Film and TV Awards, it had the most performed song in the film and nominated for most outstanding picture at the 1993 NAACP Image Awards, so it didn't win. As far as the cast goes, we have Eddie Murphy as Marcus Graham, Robin Givens as Jacqueline Breuer, Halle Berry as Angela, David Allen Greer as Gerard, Martin Lawrence as Tyler, Grace Jones as Strange, Jeffrey Holder as Nelson, Eartha Kitt as Lady Eloise, Chris Rock as Boney T, Tisha Campbell as Yvonne, Leela Rashawn as Christy, John Witherspoon as Mr. Jackson, BB Drake as Mrs. Jackson, and Melvin Van Peebles as an editor. Just want to make sure I mention all of those names, even though some of them had small roles, because that's a powerhouse of a cast right there.
For sure.
Ooh, my goodness.
Yeah, man. So let's just get into the question. Ray P, I think we all know the answer. Classic or not?
Classic.
100%.
Easy.
Cool.
Classic.
Yeah, absolutely a classic. I can't wait to kind of talk about the critic reaction to this film. And I can't wait until you guys hear the rating for the average viewer.
I can already imagine.
Yeah, I can't wait
black
for
movie.
it. Yeah, but you got to think about, so where we are, it's 1992, 1991 when you think about filming, or you were cool in the hood, and there was no in between. So they wanted to kind of bring something together where everybody's smart and cool and successful and not really pushing anything black on you. It's just black people being regular doing black stuff.
Yeah,
our experiences. Yeah.
It goes to what you was talking about too, Rich. Like $42 million to make this movie, but a lot of that money was spent on the wardrobe. Like they had to make sure motherfuckers was looking bad. You hear me?
Absolutely. The cast was on point, especially it looks a little bit 90s-ish, but
yes,
high top tier 90s fashion, high level. Yeah. They all had it in this film.
Yep.
They all had it in this film. And there was a lot of professional, successful people that said this is the movie where I first saw myself on screen.
Yes.
I saw myself. So to me, honestly, I think Boomerang is one of the most probably 3 to 5 or top 3, top 5 important films in black cinema of the past 30 years. Like I truly believe that because it set this genre of us seeing ourselves in this light. I remember when we did Love Jones and my sister saying one of her favorite things about that is when, she was in college when that movie came out and seeing that crew and just kind of living a regular life. She said, I kind of saw what my post-college career was going to, that imagery is always important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Eddie had the script. He took it to the writers. It was his idea. You mentioned the budget. It got greenlit quick because it's Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
I mean, say less. We talked about it on the Nutty Professor as what his star power was like at that time. And this was kind of like a second act for his career. So we took it to the writers because he had worked with them on Saturday Night Live. Reginald Hudlin, he knew him from House Party. Well, obviously, he wasn't in it, but he just appreciated the success, so he tapped him to do it. And Hudlin had the vision of, I want to put Eddie Murphy in a place where he's never been. This was Eddie Murphy's first time being in a rom-com. We talked about it a couple episodes back. I think Coming to America is a rom-com, but it's more of a com-rom than anything.
Yeah.
So just as a true, not a character, just a regular black man, this was his first role, and you see a different side of Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he even said it was the most relaxed he's ever been on the set. He learned the importance of rehearsal, things like that. So the critics obviously didn't get it because we have mainly, and shout out to We Got Y'all. We're doing Winning Time, Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, and the episode we just released, we were talking about the power of the media. And it reminded me, it was fitting that we're doing Boomerang because a lot of the critics were white and they kept referring to it as a fantasy. It's a fantasy world because they couldn't imagine all these successful black people being in one place. What do you mean they're all in the marketing firm? What do you mean like even the boss is white? Like, what is that? That doesn't make sense. Are we sure somebody told Reginald Hudlin this in a meeting? Are we sure Eddie Murphy can be a leading man as far as like a rom-com because he has a wide nose and big lips?
Crazy.
Literally said that. And that's what Reginald was like. If he's saying this shit to my face, I can only imagine what they're saying behind closed doors.
Exactly.
So it was insane that they thought of us like this. And to the point where Reginald Hudlin and Eddie Murphy had to write op-eds in response to certain reviews that they were getting and pretty much check people on their own racism. Like people were calling it racist because it had an all-black cast. And of course, pot meet kettle. How many times have we watched a movie with an all-white cast?
Yes.
So many. In fucking New York.
Right.
In New York City.
That's like, that's Friends. Ain't even a black extra in Friends. And
they had Aisha Tyler after Backlash.
Yeah, you got a few people, but that's it. But either way, not even to make it about that, I just like going back to the times that we were in the early 90s and how crazy it is, especially looking at it now.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you didn't think? It's Eddie Murphy, bro. Put him in anything. It's going to do numbers. Look at your leads. Look at everybody. They did their thing with this film, and I'm just so happy that it was successful. People went out to the theaters, and, we got this classic. I want to talk about first experiences. And even Eddie, hold on real quick. So they wanted him to have a character that had an arc. And we can talk about that later. I don't know if I necessarily agree that his character learned anything. But one of the things was the whole feat. It was supposed to like be a character. It was supposed to drive his character to his growth. To the point where obviously at the end, he doesn't care what her feet look like. But Reginald Hudlin had a friend. They said he was so picky, he would look at a woman's back teeth. And that's kind of like, how can we apply that into this film? And so that's where the foot thing came from. So all of this, certain things you see, is real life. Like he knows somebody that's beyond that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. Ray P, do you remember your first experience with this film?
I don't. I have no idea the first time I saw Boomerang. It obviously wasn't in theaters. I could only imagine that maybe it was on Freeman or on Auburn. As a child, that means either my grandmother's house or with my cousins. I have no idea how many times I've seen Boomerang, 5011. Even gave the BET spinoff a chance. I made it through the first season, not so much of the second. I don't know. I can't tell you.
I feel you on that. School?
I do remember my first experience, and it was at 1480, man. This is a 1480.
With who?
Huh?
With who?
This is with Rich. You hear me? It's a 1480 classic, bro. We watched this movie so much at your house, man. Wow. I texted you, I think yesterday or the day before, and was like, bro, we was watching this movie as kids.
Yeah, way too young. We were
way too young watching this movie.
Way too young.
And weak.
Weak at it too. Definitely did it unsupervised. We were sneaking and watching it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember. I'm glad I know it was a 1480 staple, but I don't remember the first time I watched it. I don't even remember the first time I understood and comprehended it.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. Like I've been watching it for so long that it just all starts to make sense.
Mhm.
And I'm a rom-com. I've said this numerous times. If you've listened to us for a while, rom-com is one of my favorite genres. Like straight up, I'll watch a rom-com all day, any day. Throw it at me, I'm with it. And this was easily one of my favorite all-time poster. Especially at that age, posters meant something. As far as how you, through a kid's mind, how you were drawn to a movie. This is one of those all-timers for me.
Yeah.
You said the B. I'm glad you said that, Rachel, because I knew if anybody was to watch the BET show, it was going to be you.
For sure.
Do you remember how many seasons it had?
I want to say just 2. There may have been a third, but I know I didn't finish the second season.
What would you rate the season 1? Was it necessary?
No.
Now, wasn't it about they kids though? Like
yes, that was the premise of the spinoff. Is that the protagonist? I can't remember her name, but she was Marcus and Angela's daughter, essentially.
Okay.
And it had, I can't remember his name. He played Tony Rock, or Chris Rock's brother, and Everybody Hates Chris. And it was good to see him as an adult, the brother. Drew, yeah. But it needed some help on the writing side. It had a good budget, the kids again were dressed, scenes look good, but it needed some help on the writing side. No shade. Shout out to all the writers.
They needed Tyler Perry, huh?
Absolutely not. Don't do that.
Nah, I was always curious about that and how that played out.
It's available on BT Plus.
Yeah, I might spin the block on it. Honestly, I'm not even joking. One thing I always remember about this film that still holds up to this day. We mentioned it earlier, but that money on the budget and just how fly everybody. I remember Marcus. I just remember Marcus was so fly, it didn't make any sense. Like, there was stuff I would still wear to this day.
For sure.
Like in that opening scene, that red suit, and another shout out to We Got Y'all when we talked about Your Honor. He was in charge. He was top dog, but not one scene did he wear a scene. I mean, did he wear a tie?
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean? Kind of showed that power. And just that overall, I can still be me. I can still be cool. And be the guy.
I think this is the first movie where I like you said, seeing someone being cool without Jordans and Nike and like they just was fly, period. I can't look at a suit and be like, oh, that's a Tom Ford or Versace or whatever, Gucci, but they was fly. I knew it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
All right, I gotta ask y'all, because I've always said this, and there's only 2 movies that I believe fall in this category. I could be missing some. If I am, let me know. I'm under the belief that Boomerang has the finest 2 women leads of all time. I think it's between this and A Low Down Dirty Shame. Just when you look on screen and you see the 2 women, every single time they're just stunning. Stunning. Rachel, you giving that eye. What you got to say?
Okay. You're talking about Robin Givens?
Robin Givens and Halle Berry.
I knew you were talking about Halle Berry.
Yes, Robin Givens.
Oh, okay. Huh.
I'm trying to think.
Hold on. Whoa, no. Don't skip over that. Ray P, what you saying?
In the lowest of keys, I don't know why. Maybe I hate Robin Givens.
And they love that. That's sold tickets in 92. Robin Givens.
Yeah, is she on that level of fine?
Yes, Robin Givens is.
I'm not saying she's ugly. She's not. She's a beautiful woman. But is she Halle Berry fine? Like on that level?
I mean, I got Halle Berry on a certain level. But Halle Berry
not to me, like not even close. And I'm trying to decide, like I'm working through it right now. I don't know if that's hate because I don't like her as an actress. As a person, I've never met this woman. I don't know why. She's one of those people who is like a constant antagonist in my mind. Like, oh.
I used to think her and Layla Rashawn were sisters when I was young. I didn't know any better.
I never thought that. But if you would have said Halle Berry and Layla Rashawn, I'd have been like, oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's just because I don't like Robin Givens or what, but I don't think she.
Listen, you know, we
like
keep it
that.
authentic.
I
I
don't
respect
have
the
hair
honesty.
weaved on down my back. Well, I do today.
I respect the honesty. I wasn't expecting that answer. I thought that was like a maybe. Please let me know if maybe I'm living in an alternate reality. Maybe not a lot of people think that like the same way I do. Because I always thought it was this and Low Down Dirty Shame with Sally Richardson and Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, that's I agree.
They're fine as hell.
The Best Man.
Yeah,
The Best
just
Man.
two fine women.
Yeah, like The Best Man.
Yep, The Best Man.
Fine ass.
I mean, but they got multiples. I limited to where you got two
to just two
obvious women leads, not the ensemble cast and stuff. Yeah, of course you can add those in there. I just meant the two. You got two leads that are women. Go from there, and those are the two movies that always come to mind for me.
Ooh, I'm gonna take Love Jones. I think Nia Long and Tits McGee. I think she looks better than
They in there. I'll gladly put them in there, but I don't know.
Jason's Lyric again. Tits McGee and Jada Pinkett. What is her name? I'm sorry, I don't mean to call her that. That is so demoralizing.
You talking about Lisa Nicole Carson?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's my boo.
Yeah, that's school's girl. That's school girl. All right. Well, all right. That's interesting. That's interesting. All right.
You.
Gee, you could say Eve's by You. Yeah.
I'ma say Eve's Bayou. I'ma say Thin Line because I'ma take Regina King and Liam Whitfield over Robin Givens.
I'm okay with them being in the conversation, but I'm sticking with Rich. Like them two. Low Down Dirty Shame is even better to me than this. Like Sally is just in 90. What was that? 94. Sheesh.
And Peaches, I think that's fine as Jada Pinkett. Peaches.
Yeah, Peaches. Yeah, for sure.
I think Peaches is it. Peaches or Woo or Nutty Professor.
Better than Lena James. Definitely not Nutty Professor. Better than Lena James, Jada Pinkett.
Nigga said Woo.
Nah, I think Peaches is it. Peach. Oh, that's every time I see Peaches.
Something about Peaches.
Yeah. It's something about Peaches, man.
That's the aesthetic.
Peaches.
I don't know. It's something about Peaches.
He said Peaches. Okay. I see something has grown since you was 16.
Yeah, it's something about Peaches, man.
Have you seen The Inkwell?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
We flirted with doing that 1,050,011 times. I'm sure we'll do it soon.
That's one of my favorite movies. Okay, Boomerang. I'm sorry, I derailed.
Nah, you good. You good.
Gotta find Whitney in the hole.
Yeah. All right. So when we did Daddy's Little Girls, you know, I had a little fun. And played around with like some alternate universe shit. And I was thinking about that when I was watching Boomerang. I would have loved, and you couldn't do this because obviously Boomerang came out first, but it would have been dope if Tyler's character was named Darnell or Darnell was named Tyler. And, you know, Tyler's character played by Martin Lawrence in this film is supposed to be, you know, the friend group is supposed to be Marcus being the ultimate cool mix of everybody, smart, funny, successful, good with the women. Gerard was supposed to be kind of the nerd, and Tyler was supposed to be the hood dude that made it, in a sense. That was kind of the stereotypes. Tyler gets tired of the corporate life. He wants to start promoting clubs. You know what I mean? He wants to start promoting clubs, man. He links up with his boy T. And then all of a sudden, you know, they just learned that dog lifestyle that he picked up from Marcus. And somehow he meets this woman named Brandy one day.
I like that.
And then the web just goes from there. I love alternate universes, and I think it could have worked. I think Darnell could have been named Tyler, and he could have been an extension of Boomerang.
I'm not mad.
They kind of low-key the same movie. Neither one of these niggas deserve what they get at the end. They both was on some manipulative dog shit. It's one thing to be a dog. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's a little bit of respect when you're honest about your bullshit. They were going out of their way to do fuck shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
A lot of similarities between the two. That's all I'm gonna say. Thin line between love and hate if you guys haven't picked up.
Very interesting.
That is. I like that.
Yeah, I just like playing around a little bit. I want to talk about this with y'all. How out of pocket was Angela in this film?
How out of pocket was she?
Yeah, bro. Like she was out of like the first time we meet her, she runs into Marcus. She's having a conversation and says, "Oh, you like Jacqueline? Oh, most men do." Just kind of that would be a weird first interaction. And then she's bringing up Jacqueline when they're going to New Orleans. And then she's asking Jacqueline to ease off. And she's asking Jacqueline, you know, I hear Marcus has quite the reputation. She was like, why are you asking all this shit, man?
I didn't clock it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I didn't clock it. And I wrote it down for a very long time after many a watch as a child, teen, adolescent, young woman, that Angela was on Marcus's head from a jump.
That's what I'm saying.
And I did not pick that up for many a year, maybe many a decade. She was definitely out of pocket and got even bolder as she and Marcus got closer. I like that they were friends. Because at first it felt like a little crush.
Yes.
And then even once she tried to get over it because she knew that he was on Jacqueline shit. But then even when she agreed to go out with Gerard, he ain't her kind of nigga. Marcus is that's the kind of boys I like. That's what she like. And so she tried to get a strange nigga a chance. And it just wasn't working. So now I got to reiterate that we just friends, you know? She was definitely out of pocket. I'm gonna give her a 7.5. She out of pocketness.
She was even out of pocket to me with Gerard. Like, why you mean that man's parents? Like, you supposed to let him, like, there's no way. I don't think Ray P meeting your parents.
I think Angela was playing a long game. I think she said, "Oh, it's at Marcus."
That part.
I might be able to finesse a little move.
Now, exactly. I don't think she was wrong in approaching Jackie about once she saw it was affecting his work. I think that was genuine. Like, yeah, she liked him, but she know him as a worker. Like, yo, you got him thrown off, and he's a hell of a worker. Like, can we kind of scale back a little bit? I don't think she was wrong.
It was still out of line because she
think so.
Until this point, school, all the workplace activity was out of line.
Yes,
for sure.
It was all of it. I mean, from the way they talk to each other, certain things that it was all out of pocket.
So once you cross that line, how do you add rules?
But that's the thing. So I know we're not in the Mad Men era in 1992, but it's still some loose shit going on in office.
For sure.
This is way before Me Too and all types of HR standards and practices, and you know there was a certain clear understanding of how the workplace went.
Right.
And everybody followed by it. That's the thing. I won't say everybody was cool. I can't speak for that entire generation. But for the most part, when that's your understanding, that's all you know, you kind of learn to accept it to the point it is cool by default. And there's got to be some real egregious shit for it to happen, for you to step up and say something. And most times, if you stepped up and say something, maybe not a lot of people even do something about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was, even for that time, her going to Jacqueline like that. Because she came to her, everything was very personal between
it was
co-workers.
very woman to woman.
Very woman to woman. And that's the thing. And like I said, not just that scene, just everybody was, even when Marcus goes in, when, you know, Jacqueline and Angela are talking, and he's all up on Jacqueline. Like, I get the workplace rush and you make sure you get it in, but my nigga, calm down for a second.
Calm down.
It was out of pocket.
Yeah, even knocking on the door, hey, hun, you got a second? Like,
hey, babe.
Hey, babe. Yeah, hey, babe. Like,
you don't know who is
in here.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, don't be chill, relax. I let take place in some, everybody. All right, man, let me chill.
But that's because he's so used to putting it on him. Once he put it on him, it's up to him to choose where the relationship goes. And that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
That's all that's
niggas,
about.
Yeah, because niggas don't know how to react, myself included. When you're used to things a certain way, you know, you can't, that charm ain't working this time. What's wrong with her?
He was salty.
This is young rich, y'all. I want to make this clear for y'all listening.
Yeah.
Young rich. I'm 36, man. I'm a changed man. Therapy works. But yeah, man, there's some moments where your ego just get the best of you. It's not even about the woman anymore. It's about my ego. It's about my pride. Like, what you mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. There was a New York Times article written by Salamisha Tillett. I hope I said her name correctly. But she was talking about this film birthed a new archetype, which was Jacqueline. The black woman who loves her job, who isn't looking for a monogamous relationship, who isn't trying to have kids in the family. She wants to advance as much as she can. It doesn't really care how people view her, and she has her own style. And I thought about that. And obviously, she's referencing, Mary Jane, Scandal.
That's immediately who I thought of being Mary Jane.
Yeah. Olivia Pope and Scandal. Characters in Insecure, Queen Sugar. And I'm like, damn, she might be right. That might be the first black woman that was kind of that archetype. Like, I'm gonna do me.
Yep.
And she pulled it off very well. So shout out to that. I'm thinking about morning cuteness. Like Marcus was always, but he a fool. And we gotta talk about homie hopping. Gotta talk about it. We cannot do Boomerang without talking about homie hopping.
Who homie hopped?
Huh? Marcus.
Who homie hopped?
Marcus.
I mean, Marcus homie hopped.
That's it.
Jacqueline and Angela, low key, very, very, very small low key.
She ain't homie hop.
We ain't friends.
I ain't doing that to Angela, man.
I'll give Angela a pat. I have no problem saying Angela didn't, but if somebody told me that she did, all right, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I get why you
because and here's the only reason I say that about Angela, because even though she was on his head from jump, she was the one that kept bringing up Jacqueline. If she just kept it G and was like, I'm at you, and didn't bring her up, I wouldn't even say nothing because her attention would have been clear. But a few too many times, it seemed like she was giving advice because of Jacqueline. Oh, you and Jacqueline.
No, because I'm trying to see where your head is. I'm trying to see how into this you really are, how available you really are. Her and Gerard ain't fuck. She made it. She's like, oh, this nigga's too weird. She made it clear that was never going to be anything. So we just friends. I know you like me, but so who doesn't?
This nigga left mid-conversation, pulled the closest friend he had and said, yeah, y'all two chit-chat, and went after that woman. That was clear indication right then. All right, let me see what happens with that, because I know he ain't fucking with her. He ain't fucking with me in this way. And if that's the case, why you go out with Gerard? She knew off rip she didn't want to go out with Gerard.
You know why she went out with Gerard? The long game.
She was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, man. Would you hey, Ray P, you kissing niggas you trying to be nice to at the end of the first date?
Well, that wasn't like a passionate kiss.
I think
what's the kiss?
Tyler had a better chance with Angela than Gerard, man.
For sure.
Because if anything, she could have grew to like him if he had a little bit more oomph about him. Like, you can't pick no meal for us. It took you an hour and a half and we still ain't eat no lunch or dinner. Like,
but that's the thing. I think even though she liked Marcus from the giddy up, I think that, again, if Gerard was assertive, if he has some oomph about him, that could have been something, because they were both awkward. They were both weird. But no matter what, as a woman, you still want a man that, like, motherfucker, do you know what you want or not? Do you want to do this? You tell me. You plan how you gonna ask me on a date and not have nowhere in mind? You fucking crazy. So.
Hey, she said Gerard couldn't hit her with a bat. I hope never woman ever said that shit about me. God. Hey, she meant that shit too. Niggas couldn't hit her with a bat. What you talking about?
With a bat. You hear me?
Even that conversation was out of workplace out of pocketness. Gerard hit it, didn't he? You ain't walking up to no woman you work with and answer somebody hit it. But either way, man, let's get to the real homie hopping. Marcus, Angela, Gerard. How guilty, or is he guilty? School.
Is Marcus guilty?
Homie hopping.
Is Marcus guilty?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the sense of what?
Well, no, maybe not homie hopping. That's not the right term. But as far as he knows that Angela, obviously the whole reason he even brought her up, because he knew he should have said something before anything happened between them. But is he out of pocket? Is he out of line for something happening with Angela, knowing that nothing's going on with? Because if you was really rocking with Gerard, you wouldn't even be over here doing all this. She's convincing him that it's okay to kiss. Friends kiss.
That's tough. That's tough.
So if you get the green light, are you pressing red before you had that conversation? Because listen, to me, I'm gonna just be all the way real. If I say stop, if I stop myself, that conversation is gonna be, yo, I'm linking with Angela. I'm not asking permission at this point.
Right.
Like, I don't know what's going on between y'all, but something happened. Out of respect for you, I stopped it. I wanted to talk to you, but it's not to get permission. It's just to let you know, so you don't find out no other way. Because obviously she feeling me, and y'all ain't got nothing going on. Especially if you just get finished telling me that, I told her, man, she was in too deep. I told her to go somewhere else. I bet, because she went somewhere else, my nigga.
Yeah.
H.
Rachel, was he out of pocket?
You know, her and Gerard never had sex. This is what I already want. I wanted this.
Shit.
I think that yes, perhaps yes, Marcus owed Gerard a conversation.
He definitely did.
I'm not saying that it would have been before they had sex, because again, that night, Thanksgiving, was not planned. They didn't go on no date. You stayed and helped me clean up. You cooked all this shit. You can wash a dish. You know, I even knowing that she was on his team, I don't think she planned on staying and fucking him that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. Things happen. But I think that a conversation should have been had with Gerard prior to things going left between Marcus and Angela. That's the issue for me.
Yes, I'm with you on that. That is my issue. That's the main issue for me. But like I said, even if I stopped, I'm really just I'm doing you a courtesy. I'm being a gentleman about this shit and telling you, my nigga, versus you finding out another way.
Yeah,
but to your point, Rachel, hold on real quick. My fault, Stu. With you saying that just kind of happened, would you have stopped? Knowing that's like, all right, we ain't supposed to be doing all this. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if you were in that situation. So I can understand how it happened. Yes, it's not great.
I stopped?
and it goes a long way. I want to make sure this is clear. It goes a long way. Riding your point even more. They're not in a relationship. They're not serious. They've never had sex. They've had a peck on the lips. Like, it seems very platonic. You know, it's different if that's your girl and he coming to you on some, I really feeling her. She might be the one. That's a whole different thing. Like, I know you really rock with this woman. Let me stay back. But you playing it cool like this ain't shit. All right. Bet.
Exactly. I'm not shit to you, remember?
And here's that slope too that Gerard's be doing. He didn't make it about him really sleeping with her and him, like you said. He made it about it being Marcus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always gotta have the girl. Like, why you always gotta have the girl? And like, it was, and even Marcus said it, like, damn, why can't I have the good girl? You know what I mean? Like, it was weird.
And
that's me.
Listen, he didn't owe him a conversation. You know why? Because what's the difference? I'm gonna bash her either way. So whether I bash her tonight or I bash her tomorrow, she getting bashed. So what's it matter?
I think in Gerard's case, so I said all of that to say, for Gerard, even though he was playing it like Angela was just the friend, if she would have been on it, he would have loved to have been more than platonic with her. That's that. Gerard is a Trekkie. Well, that was Marcus, but he's a weirdo. No shade. He's corny, not ugly, probably makes a decent living. The quote unquote nice guy. Everybody knows nice guys finish last in the lowest of keys. And so here we are with this beautiful, beautiful woman that you want. And part of you is psyching yourself out because you can't really have her the way you want her. And here's Marcus, the guy who always gets the girl that he wants and dogs her and tosses her, treats her like nothing. I'm going to get what I want and be done with it, especially if your feet are ugly. You're my friend.
Be like that.
You know deep down that I still really like this woman, despite what I'm saying, despite what I'm projecting. And again, I know and you know that you literally can have any woman that you want. Why this one? My mama already said she looks like one of Marcus's girls. Like, why her? It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody but this one. So that's why I say we're on Gerard's side. Now, if I'm Angela, I'm still fucking Marcus. But I'm saying I see where I come where Gerard is coming from.
That was very well said.
Yeah.
Very well said. And I understand that completely.
Yeah.
I guess I had two things I want to say in response to that. If I'm Marcus, and this might sound wild, I hope it doesn't, but like friend to friend, like she's on me, like she's at my head. It's not like I'm really. This didn't start by me pursuing her, my man's.
I threw her to
She's
you
at my neck too. So just on some friendship shit. Like, would you really want to date a girl that's like would fuck your best friend in a second?
But
I don't know.
didn't
That's on you to
disclose
decide.
any of that. He didn't disclose any of that.
I know you're right. You're right. I'm just saying I would have. That's what I'm saying. If I was Marcus, that's the conversation I have with Gerard. Like straight up, this is what's going on. She likes me. Maybe there can be a conversation to make sure everything's clear in the air. But if you had that conversation with her, I'm sure she's pretty gone. Angela would have had no problem with saying, "My nigga, I like Marcus. Me and you cool, but I like Marcus." And just real quick, and I'm not. I don't. It's not victim blaming because there's no victims, but Gerard and Marcus are friends. If I'm Gerard, I'm leaving out the crib. Hold on, what you mean? You helping to do the dishes? Everybody else leaving? You know what time it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
If she leave and stay behind with Marcus, I know. But what I'm saying is, he should have known what time it was when he was leaving out, and she said, "I want to help with the dishes." He knew there was a 90% chance that Marcus gonna pull a Marcus. Even that nigga, when Tyler came back to the pool table and said, "What you do?" That nigga said, "Guess." They know what time it is with Marcus.
Yes. You know what's up.
Don't need a girl around me.
Oh,
true player for real.
Let me pause you there. Yeah, I know you, Marcus, but he don't know Angela like that. I think he's not picking up on the clues that she actually likes Marcus. He doesn't know, he doesn't see any of that. So me and my hurriedness to get my embarrassing ass parents out of the house, let me go get them situated. So no, I'm not expecting. I don't think anything of you, your coworker, homegirl, who I have no outside knowledge of there being anything funny between y'all. I don't think anything of her staying and helping you clean because in my mind, this is just a nice lady. I know her. Yeah, I know you, but I don't think that Gerard at any point thought that Angela was remotely interested in Marcus. I don't think
when them niggas was at lunch, Gerard made a point to say shit like that only happens to people like Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that it's not only just some cool charm, like you have some superpower that just seems to overtake everyone. I think he was aware and I think he had a chance of knowing, like, even if she's not on it, there might just be something in that Marcus air to where this could end up a 50-50 flip.
Yeah, Gerard.
Really 80-20.
Gerard clearly put Angela on a pedestal. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Cause
and think she was over there cooking all day. They could have fucked in.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing for her to offer.
Hey, there,
Rachel, that's a deleted scene.
Hey, chill, man. What's that?
Oh man! All right, y'all want to get the categories? You got anything else to say about Gerard? And shout out to man. Listen, talk to your friends, y'all. All seriousness, especially if you have a real genuine friendship. Sit down, talk to your friends. Like even if it's just a courtesy, it ain't even gotta be do you want me to do this or not? Like, hey man, I'm gonna do this, but I want to know how you feel about it to see how bad I'm gonna feel for doing it.
Yeah, you might not make it out the door to do it.
Hey man. Ray P, man, we gonna get to the best scene.
Okay.
What you got?
Let's go. I'll do starting off with our first lunch with the fellas because it's us meeting them. And our firstish view of all of three gentlemen, Martin or Gerard, Tyler, and Marcus together. It's our first look at their attitudes, their demeanor, their swag, how they approach the world, women, life. We learned very early that Marcus is a motherfucker. We see that Tyler, he is to the militant black man, to your point, the one who kind of made it out, and
The 5%er.
definitely the 5%er.
Yep.
And Gerard, the corny one who again we talked about it during probably the best man episode. Like there's always that one friend like Merch who doesn't quite fit, but somehow fits, and that's Gerard. So I like that. Just our introduction
100%.
to the fellas.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
You know what this film does a great job of? These scenes are kind of extended. It's almost like two scenes in one. So they do a great job of everything that happens scene by scene leaves you with something to talk about.
Yeah.
Because the lunch itself, I mean, I personally like the opening scene with Marcus coming into the office a little bit more than the lunch.
Yeah.
But that lunch is connected to the Kirby scene.
Yeah.
So it makes that whole scene tie together, and now you love it all as a whole. So Boomerang did a really good job of that as you watch it throughout. There's be some moments where you're like, all right, well, general conversation, yada, yada, yada. And then a big thing happens, and it's all still connected.
Yep.
So I love that about the film. School, what did you have for your next scene?
My next scene would definitely have to be when Marcus meets Jacqueline. My goodness, we already seen how charming he can be with I can't remember Layla Rashawn. What's her name? Christy. We see how charming he can be with Christy, but now he sees a young lady in his office, and that's the type of building, kind of like the World Trade Center. So much going on, so many areas and insurance companies and blah blah blah. So he doesn't know this girl and where she works at. So he ASAP on her. And man, one of my favorite lines is when he tells her who he is. I'm Marcus Graham. She said, "Oh my goodness, you're Marcus Graham." And he looks at her and says, "Look at you. See, now you a fan. You was calling me. You was treating me like my name is Stanley earlier."
That should have me weak.
My goodness, man. Eddie does a really good job this whole movie. Like you say, Rachel, I believe him as a player pimp, whatever you want to call it. Not necessarily a pimp, but an executive who's a ladies' man. Like I believe him more than Darnell. That's for sure.
Nah, definitely more than Darnell. That's 100%. My favorite thing about that scene is it immediately gives you that power shift.
Yes.
Where you thought Marcus is the one, and you have this woman who comes in. No, I'm not a model. Like, no, I'm not one of them ones you can just come up and use some game on. She laughed in that nigga face.
Yes.
Like, are you serious? Get out of here. Something I can see Rachel doing.
Beat it.
Literally laughing a nigga out of her face.
Yeah, what are you doing?
But it did a good job of showing that. It didn't have to be like overly sexual or anything like that to show it. It was more so, nah, I'm a woman. I'm taking over. And especially when you hear, I was told I was going to be the new director. Well, I'm already the director of Lady Eloise, and we acquired y'all. Like, why would you think I'm taking the demotion?
Right.
So she was already on top of it. I love that. I know we didn't talk about the opening scene, but I do just want to mention, if I saw that commercial that Nelson put together, I'd buy my girl that lipstick. I just want to say that.
Nelson.
The sales would have been nuts. It would have been like, oh, kissables. Yeah.
You gotta lose the cherry and a banana.
Hey, he said, don't give me, I didn't dig your face. I dug it.
Just got a little nasty like you always do. I do want to mention, just to keep it chronological, Kirby, the whole Kirby scene. I guess it ties into your scene, Rachel.
Yeah.
Pretending to have lost a dog just to pick up a woman you saw while you were sitting down to lunch is nasty work.
I mean, that quick.
Yes, so think of it that quick. I mean, Marcus got a lot of moxie and spunk, man. I will say that. That's sick.
Shit.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes too. But everything, even to the point where he finessed that moment into getting her to the crib, finessed the crib moment to getting her to her crib, because he knew right away, once she was saying knock jokes and shit, he was like, oh, no, this ain't going nowhere. But I'm still about to hit.
Gold star for Marcus.
Yes, all that shit came. He was like, oh, this is that rap, but I'm going to finesse this just so I ain't got to be the dickhead and kick her out. Let's go to her crib. I'm gonna play the shy brother. And then, oh, you sure we shouldn't be doing this? Yeah, got it. Man, listen, it was, if you a player and you live by them rules, first of all, shame on you. But second of all, chef's kiss.
Hey,
Yeah, you stupid.
and that's why Gerard need his ass whooped, because he can't compete with that nigga, man. You ain't competing with Marcus.
She walked in and she walked in and said, "Where's Kirby? Kirby?
Where's Kirby? Where's Kirby?
no motherfucking Kirby." even Avant, that moment with Yvonne, you get another scene within the scene. That's just hilarious. When he told her, "I did not dump you. We went out. It was whack.
It was
Why
whack."
don't you get over and find? Hey, he said, "Why don't you get over and find another man? Huh? Get out of here.
Hey,
get out of here."
Hey, he told her you ain't supposed to be that close to the fence either.
he said that get out of here the same way that dude at the bus station told her in that episode of Martin when she smashed his head through the window. Get out of here. Yeah.
Scram. That's what he told me. Yeah.
Hey, nigga said, don't forget I got that quarter. Hey, nigga said, don't forget I got that quarter on you, man. You ain't supposed to be standing that close to the fence. Hey, that whole scene, man, that shit's hilarious. That shit's hilarious.
Well, that was my next scene.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay, no, but that was my next scene, meeting Yvonne, and then later seeing all her hijinks and their whole dialogue. So I'll go to that whole scenario, because I have the dinner gold star for Marcus.
And she said knock knock.
Stupid. I'll jump then to Marcus at Lady Eloise's house. Because what the fuck? I love that Living Single replayed that with Kyle and Lady Eloise and Eartha Kitt.
Yes.
Yep.
But just to think, to be this 80-year-old woman who still looks good, who still wants to feel like a woman, she's gonna have on her tights, and her foot was always in a bevel, toes pointed, like still very much Catwoman.
Yep.
Sexy, but you just owe the shit. And shout out to Marcus for doing what needed to be done to close the deal. So he thought.
Yeah, he thought. The best thing about those scenes is the butler. The butler just making faces again weak, because he sees that once a month probably.
For sure.
Shout out to Jonathan Hicks.
Yeah,
that's the butler's name. Fun fact about him: he is not an actor. He is a reporter he was a reporter for the New York Times.
Yeah.
So an actor who was supposed to play that role was sick, and he's a friend of Reginald Hudlin, so he filled in as a favor, and he killed it. You wouldn't have known, because his facial expressions were incredible. Incredible. Yeah, I love that scene as well. School, what you got next?
My next scene would be him just the next day. I mean, I know we're talking about that, but the next day when he comes in and Boney T's all up on him and just giving him shit. I love Boney T in this whole movie, aka Chris Rock, because even though I don't like that nigga, I like him in this because he's young, he's hustling, and he's funny as shit in this movie, man. And we all know somebody like that at their job. The nigga at the bottom who always trying to make it to the top and willing to do any and everything to get there. Sheesh.
Which exact scene were you talking about? The one after the failed thing was
yes,
Jacqueline,
I'm sorry.
or...
After the failed whatever with Lady Eloise, when he comes in.
Oh, okay.
He's holding the mail up and look, I can read it. I can tell you what it say. After he be reading all the mail and being everybody opening people's checks and shit.
Yeah, man. Hey, I do want to mention real quick, not to harp too much on it, but Strange's entrance was OD.
That's my next scene.
Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
No, that's it. Just Strange's entrance, because she was strange, over the top. Shout out to Grace Jones. It was nothing that we have really seen, and it really only gave us, or it was truly like a prelude to what we would see from Strange. Because if this is the precursor, then I can already know that anything with you is going to be a wild ride, literally on a chariot.
Wow.
She OD, just OD. Like, what the fuck is going on?
And I love that scene because of Marcus and how charming again he is. They're trying to figure out the name of the perfume, and she's just giving him shit about it. And he's like, it's got to be tough. It's got to be powerful. It's got to be. Wait a minute. It's got to be Strange. You're all those things, and she falls right into the trap, man.
I got you. That's a separate scene though.
That's a separate scene, but that's my next scene.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Yeah, she's
That
talking about the
first pitch
entrance at the
meeting.
actual ball. The big ball, which
Oh,
when I
okay,
say Strong,
my bad.
not the first time we see Strong J.
Yeah, not the pitch meeting, but that's my next scene.
Yeah, not the pitch meeting, but her entrance. That's why I said that shit was OD. The chariot, the helicopter, all of that shit was OD.
Oh, okay,
For
okay.
sure.
That's what I meant when I said that. Yeah. I do real quick before you get into that, Rachel. I want to just shout out. Well, go ahead. Get into yours. We'll talk about it.
Oh no, that was it. I said her entrance.
No, you were saying
then...
that the. My bad. I thought you were talking about the scene with her and the him naming the perfume.
Well, that was schools. Yeah, I mean, I said that was my next scene.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The first pitch meeting. That's it. Just because she's over the top, bitch, you pulling your panties off, like
Yes.
this is the essence of sex, you know. As to which I feel like, be passionate about your shit, you know.
Yes.
But she's crazy again.
I love, like I said earlier, the charm of Marcus, but also him. I don't know what you call the perfume maker, but him following him out and charming him up, you know. Come on, man. You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
Marcus, you devil, you know. Man.
Yeah. Just
you
a naturally
gotta have a
likable
gift
person.
to gab in advertising. Shout out to Marcus.
Sure. 100%. I want to get to the Jacqueline telling Marcus that she'll get back to him scene. I don't know if anybody wants to cover New Orleans first because go chronologically. Did anybody have New Orleans on their list?
I had New Orleans written down, but mostly just because I love New Orleans and there's nothing like that sexual tension and dancing with a nigga in sweaty ass New Orleans. And finally, he's been chasing her since her inception into the movie, you know, and then you finally get it. And they was getting it. Like, it wasn't no cute little scene. Like, it was, for what it was something.
Yeah.
That's why that nigga's nose was open.
That's 100%. She definitely put it on him. Definitely put it on him. So the scene when Jacqueline's telling Marcus that she's gonna get back to him.
Yeah.
And him waiting on the phone call, you know, to see when the date's gonna be, wrapped up with him at the Apollo, to her finally coming over. All of that wrapped up, I got to give credit to. For one, we see Marcus, everything's flipping back on him. He's a player that's getting played. Like, straight up. Like, he everything that he's done to women throughout the years, he's finally having done to him. And he can't even see it at this point. He's still lost in his own, I guess, selfishness as far as coming down on Jacqueline. I was worried sick about you. Everything that he did, even the fact of having to get back to me 3 weeks from now, he did that to Anita at the beginning of this film. You know, he finessed her being mad into a massage.
A massage.
And some
you know what I mean? Yeah, and some more shit. So I love the little brief moment of comedy we get with the teller, or I guess the booth attendant. Because we've all been there. If you've ever worked retail, any kind of customer service where you just don't, I'm here for this check. Like, this is a light job. Like, I don't really give a fuck. And he's on the phone. You're very good at your job. I know.
Yeah, I know.
He's talking to his boy. He was some bitch ass nigga, some suck ass nigga. Yeah, man, I love that shit.
I also want to touch on this real quick from that scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is the first like infamous naked under the trench coat scene. That's the first time I ever saw that. And I feel like that became very infamous. Like, your girl, anytime, it could be a sitcom, your girl mess up, she comes over in a trench coat. Underneath, she's looking crazy good. You hear me?
It could have happened before, like you said, but I will say, like this is the first time I've seen it.
Yes.
Even the money on the nightstand, you got to throw that in there because
the money on the nightstand.
Just demoralizing. Like I said, everything they did a great job of making sure Marcus felt exactly what he does to these women and has been doing for years. And I love the fact that this goes to a point you said earlier, School, when I made that mention between this and Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Yep.
I feel like Marcus got it a little bit more. You know, Darnell's was more so just survival. He was just trying to survive. Marcus, his feelings are crushed. He really likes this woman, or whatever feeling he possesses with love. I don't know.
He was calling the hospital. Like, he was on it. You hear me?
Yeah.
He called the airport.
Hey, she hit him with the, you ain't getting serious on me, are you? Hey, that nigga was like, what?
Crazy.
It meant it.
Hey, that's some Ray P shit, man. You ain't getting sick. Hold on. We kicking it, right?
Hey,
Are we?
that goes to him being used to having the power when
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Men cannot take that. They cannot take
Man.
those tables turning.
Ray P, what you got next?
I had all of that. Yeah, Jacqueline coming over after skipping a play in the trench coat, like you said, school.
No,
Strange's restaurant rant is my next scene.
What?
Might be the funniest scene in the movie.
Again, this bitch is out of pocket.
Out of pocket.
Why would you have your vagine out for this man in this restaurant full of all of these people to straight up blatantly ask somebody, so when are we gonna fuck?
Mid combo, mid conversation,
and meant
mid conversation and mean it, and point out everybody who was allegedly gay in the restaurant is absolutely insane. Having a whole temper tantrum because this nigga won't fuck you is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
You're not gay. You just don't want to fuck me. Like, damn, calm down. Calm down. Relax.
Straight up. Hey.
Yeah, the whole pussy. Like, because ain't nothing like trying to shush a grown ass person. Yeah,
chill out.
Gonna keep going. Yeah. And that even leading into. Listen, there's a lot of sass in these men characters throughout different moments. But just I understand you being upset, but just the way you go about it, him and Jacqueline, you being a hypocrite. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Yeah,
knowing that you want, like, I'll just have a conversation, my nigga. I feel you. You ain't supposed to. You ain't that developed emotionally. I get it. But he just reacted in the way that I'm like, bruh, you deserve all of this coming to you. Yeah. School. What's the next thing you got? Hey, Strange said no man can turn down this pussy.
Hey, that's what she said.
No man.
Hey, my next scene is you stupid. Is him coming to work after him and Jacqueline broke up, and that dynamic, that shift of power again. She has the ball in her court. She gets to work earlier. She's the boss. She done told all the women. Obviously, it seems there's more women that work there than anything. And man, they was laughing at him, clowning him. Earlier was cool when you thought that her and Angela was talking about, Gerard hitting it, or maybe even you hitting it. Now you being made fun of, at least you think. And they was playing that man. They was playing him. He was salty, sick.
Hey, Jacqueline came in the office on some Killmonger. This is your king? This the nigga that got shot in a tizzy every day? Let me tell you what I did to this sucker ass nigga last night.
Crazy.
Hey, they was
clowning that man. You hear me? They did him dirty. And it leads to Angela, saying something to Jacqueline, like Jackie. Then Jackie, my girl.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm not a tattletale by no means. I'd have went to HR so quick. Bro. I promise you, man. You're not about to play me like that. Nah, man. Oh, girl coming down the stairs. She had to turn her face away because she laughing so hard.
His eyes. Hey.
Yeah, man. Took an L.
He definitely
took an L, a bad one at the job. All the women stop, and they don't even have enough courtesy to wait until you get all the way upstairs. They laughing as soon as you turn your back.
Crazy.
I can still hear you. That shit wild.
Even if you have a workplace romance, if you can call it that, telling your homegirls is one thing. Telling the whole fucking office is another.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
This the nigga y'all going crazy about? Hey, Jacqueline said, what's up?
Hey.
That is why I told you the whole workplace environment was out of pocket in this film. Everything, not just one instance, everything was just, you cannot do any of that shit today.
Yeah.
Any of that. I'm gonna pass it to you for the next scene, Rachel. I just want to drop and mention Kenny, one of the kids in the movie.
Yeah.
When they had the first art scene and Angela's trying to cheer him up, Kenny told y'all niggas, y'all better chill out on this environment shit, because the ozone gonna be fucked up. And the animals, all that shit gonna be bad. And now look at us. Kenny tried to tell us back in 1992. So shout out to them. Rachel, what's your next scene?
Thanksgiving.
Gotta be.
Gotta be
We pretty
Thanksgiving.
much opened the show up with it, but goddamn, what a scene! What a series! Again, to your point, what a series of scenes that take place. The meeting of the Jacksons, the dinner table conversation, the aftermath of being a Trekkie and fucking your best friend's crush.
Yeah. Gerard was wrong, man. Gerard knew better.
Told y'all, man. As soon as that door was closed and the Angela was still there, hey.
Let me say this. I'm putting that up there. Gerard bringing Angela to meet Mr. and Mrs. Jackson is almost as bad as Sherman Klump bringing Miss Purdy over into his house, because that shit was just
you know what your family about to be on.
You already know when that man said, "Marcus, I heard somebody at the office got you pussy whipped."
And Angela specifically told Marcus, like, I just don't want them thinking that we're together. So it just seemed like a bad setup from jump.
Yeah, it was no good. You hear me? No good at all. Man, and they was in his bathroom fucking. Like, come on, man. They was tripping big time.
Shout out to the Jacksons. I inspire.
Hey, you hear me?
You already mentioned that Isn't She Pretty? She looked like one of Marcus's girls. That's already wild to say.
That's crazy.
That's super
to not even think that I could get a beautiful woman.
To be like in Marcus girls.
To be in here with this mushroom belt, mushroom suit, like
that's a classic one. Got to coordinate all of that. That's classic John Witherspoon.
Got to coordinate.
Is this the birth? The mainstream birth?
They brought a bucket of chitlins. That's all you need to know.
Mainstream birth of John Witherspoon?
The mainstream birth of You Got to Coordinate, because that went to the Wayans brothers.
And Bang Bang Bang.
Bang Bang. That got to the Wayans brothers. Like those are his signatures.
You got to whips that pussy. That's Friday After Next.
Yeah. He also did Bang 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 in the vampire movie, Vampire in Brooklyn, with Eddie Murphy.
But that's after this.
Oh, I know.
Did he do Bang? Hold on. Did he do Bang 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 in Hollywood Shuffle?
I think so.
Oh, I don't know.
He might have done that, and he did something that we know him for in Hollywood Shuffle. I can't remember exactly what it is, but either way, mainstream America, quote unquote, didn't see Hollywood Shuffle.
Right.
So a lot of people, this was their introduction to it. So that's a great point.
That's what I thought.
Did you have anything else to say about that scene, Rachel?
That's it. Just the ridiculousness of it from the rooter to the tutor.
You didn't marry me for my cooking.
Hey, so it'd be like that.
Yeah, you didn't marry for my cooking. It's funny that moment with them having sex in the bathroom. That was just something that was floated around between Reginald Hudlin and Eddie Murphy, and it was like on a Friday, and they thought about it all weekend. And when they saw each other on set, the first thing they said to each other was like, "We need to shoot that scene we were talking about." And obviously, it made it in the film. And I just want to go. The same scene when Angela stays over and they're falling asleep to Star Trek. The way Marcus was breaking down Star Trek is the way I break down The Wire. Like he was just there's a nigga just into it.
Yeah,
you know this, you know that, you know this.
Yeah,
man. I knew what time it was. Angela was ready.
Yeah.
School. What's your next scene?
I don't think I have anything after that. I think that the last 45, 50 minutes is just pure comedy, bro.
I got one specific scene that's probably on Rachel's list as well.
Go ahead.
Got to talk about Marcus and Angela. When he creeps in the night before. Creeps in late and has a speech with her. Let me. All right. Hold on. Where do we start with this?
This is not. This is why I don't talk about it, because this ain't player of him at all. But go ahead.
Oh nah, this wasn't played at all. But so let's talk about I can understand Marcus, especially when he says, "I saw the woman and there were feelings that came out that I didn't know were still there." I genuinely believe, even if he had to talk himself into it, I don't think he expected to react a certain way that he did with Jacqueline. Even though you can probably argue that with the way he answered the phone and said, "Angela, just stop by real quick," when knowing that she pulls you out the shower, my nigga, there's more than just some quick stop by. She's living with you, my dog.
They already saw each other together.
Yeah, so I don't know why he was perfect. So I guess some of that makes me recant that statement a tad bit. But I don't think I think he wanted to do right by Angela. And if he could have prevented something, he would have tried, but not that hard. It was very easy for Jacqueline to finesse this nigga out his draws.
Mhm.
And the way he creeps in, Angela's already on top of it. And listen, him telling Angela, Jacqueline says I'm a much better person. I know I owe that all to you. It's filthy, disgusting. If you say that to your girl, you gotta take a shower after that.
That's nasty work.
Like he deserves every bit of that slap. But I think the most famous line in Boomerang, what do you know about love? Well, you know, love should have brought your ass home last night. All of that whole monologue by Halle Berry. It was just incredible. And it was that moment where you realize Marcus doesn't deserve any of this. And I'm happy that Angela saw it right off rip, got up out of there. He didn't deserve Angela, which I don't know if we'll talk about that at the end, but yeah, man, that was just nasty shit. And that just moment of confusion, knowing that you had something. I got issues with the end. I'm gonna let you take over, Rachel, because we'll talk about that.
Well, I was waiting to see if you were gonna say anything about it or if you peeped. Jacqueline did not give a fuck about Marcus. She hadn't thought nothing of him, and that whole time he was on sabbatical until she saw he and Angela together at the pitch meeting or pitch redo. You know, that little hey you, their attentiveness to each other, the touchy. That is when Jacqueline was like, "Let me hit this nigga up." So if Marcus had any wits about him, yeah, he probably did still feel some kind of way, have some residual feelings for her. But if he had any pride about himself, he would have peeped that shit too. But niggas just don't fucking think like realize that he was getting ganged up on some stupid shit. Leaving Angela, who loves your ass, just come over here and fuck with Jacqueline. Like, are you fucking stupid? Yes. But
I wish I would have. No, that's a great point. I had a feeling. I know you well enough to know that you were going to bring that up. I also wish I had a better timeline of how long have Marcus and Angela been. Because obviously she's living there. She's doing art there. I wonder how long this has been. Yeah.
Well, how long
been a couple months.
How long did he go on that sabbatical? You know what I mean? Like
3 weeks. I think it was like 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So
said take a few weeks off. I think was what the film said.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, like you said, I think the point was it's enough to know that we're established, we're intimate. I'm pulling you out the shower so you can look at my artwork. Shit, I don't get more intimate.
I'm answering
the phone.
Right.
Answering the phone in 1992.
Your phone.
Yes.
Because I live here.
Exactly. Like that shit is insane. The fact that he let her answer the phone, that like, I don't know.
The fact that nigga said she just stopped by and thought that shit was cool with her right in front of you. He ain't had no player shit about her.
She was done with the shit then. Like, although she stayed the night, like she knew then that it was about to be some foolishness afoot.
Yep. I think that was her, let me see what this nigga about to do move. Like, okay. Yep.
You don't care about me. You don't care about Jacqueline. All you care about is your damn self.
Just like a nigga.
How can you say I don't care about you? You know, Jacqueline said I'm a much better man, and I know I owe that because of you. Yo, that's some filthy shit to say to your girl.
You should have
crediting another woman for your behavior.
A
woman pointing out. That shit wild, man. All right, the ending real quick. So this film originally ended with the three friends on the roof.
Yes,
that was the original ending of this film.
I had that in trivia. Go ahead.
They pretty much decided that Marcus was going to let everything that happened to him, the women were deciding. So if the women decide to leave, they decide to mess with him, that's it. And he has a friend, Reginald Hudlin has a friend named Trey who was reading the script and looked at Reginald and say, yo, Marcus got to make a decision, bruh. If you went through all of this to talk about his character arc and show him in a different light, you have to show him making a decision. He has to reject one woman, choose another one. So they ended up adding the scene with Angela and him going back to get her and all of that kind of good stuff. I just didn't feel similar to Thin Line Between Love and Hate. he didn't deserve Angela back. Matter of fact, we'll get into Come See About Me. That might have been one of the weakest Come See About Me moments that I've seen. I don't even know if he could really describe to Angela why he deserved her back, but she was still with it. And I get it, love wins, yada yada yada. But are you going for that, Ray P? Where do you rate that Come See About Me moment?
He used the kids.
Yep.
He took over her job at the youth center. He done dragged these kids down to your new office building, to your new job.
That's diabolical. That's diabolical. I just want to say that.
Yeah, he's a menace. He's a menace.
Yep.
I'm assuming Angela's in her 20s. 20-something-year-old Rachel, I might go, but 36, no.
Yeah, he didn't deserve a happy ending. He just didn't.
I mean,
I don't think, and here's why.
They get him nonetheless.
And here's why, I guess, to be more specific. I don't think that's all Marcus's fault per se, more than the story. I don't know if we got enough of him dealing with that. Coming to having that mirror to mirror moment where he realizes all this dirt I've been doing to these women is finally catching back up to me. They needed a scene like that to where the light bulb went off and we believed him.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm going to try my best to be this person. And obviously there is a little bit, he cares about Angela, but I just didn't feel like it was enough for, I honestly feel his ego was still too hurt. That I lost this woman. There is some like, this is a sweet woman. I care about her. I hate that this had to happen, but I don't know if it was like, I love you. I need to be with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he got what he wanted. And I would be quick to say that lasted, I don't know. I don't want to put a timetable on it. I just didn't really believe in the love like that.
You better go get that woman back.
Yeah, you got to go get her back. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did wake up and get her. So don't get me wrong by that. I just would have loved one scene showing me that Marcus really understood.
Yeah. Like
I really understand. You know, your hitch going up and banging on the door, having that. I don't know, just something. And that's just a small little nitpick. It doesn't ruin the movie for me. It's not something that I'm gonna go, die on that hill. But like you said, Rachel, it's kind of believable because cats like Marcus always get what they want, one way or another. One way or another. So, did anybody have any more scenes? I know you did in school. Rachel, did you have anything else that you want to go with the schemes? All right. Best quotes, Rachel.
I'll run through. We said a lot of these. You have too much dog and not enough romance in your life. Court order. I don't give a damn about a court order. Marcus, I'm not wearing any panties. I don't have any panties on. Gerard could not hit it if he had a bat. We said that. So when are we going to fuck? I'm Strong J. Pussy. Where is that cat? That's my favorite line. Where is that cat? You're not gay. You just don't want to fuck me. We said that. Isn't she pretty? She's like one of Marcus's girls. You got to coordinate. I heard that your pussy whipped. Why don't you reverse it and whip that pussy? And then of course, love should have brought your ass home last night.
That's them.
Is that the most famous line in the movie? Is that the most Boomerang line? Love should have brought your ass home.
Love should have brought your ass home last night and whip that pussy are probably the most.
Yeah, the cord, everything John Witherspoon, that whole John Witherspoon segment. Do you have anything that Rachel didn't say, School?
You think Malcolm X died for you to be walking around here like a punk or to look like a chump? And the secret to my salmon is fresh rosemary. That would, bro, y'all know I cook. So that was part of my game back in the day. And if I put my heart and soul into a meal and she was on that, I'd have been hurt.
I went to watch the Knicks game, man. Hey, grab me a beer while you up.
Grab me a beer. You gonna ruin this fresh rosemary and salmon with a bit, man? All right, man.
And I love how Jacqueline was a G, man. I love how she was talking to Yvonne outside. Like, yeah, all I really had that you didn't say, Nasty Nelson, that's me. That's why you don't get no pussy, man. I'll give you $20 for that leash. Take it, fool. Turn down that good money. I think everything else you guys got. I did have. Why do you always have to have all the girls, Marcus? Because somebody told me that freshman year of college. I'm not living by that adage. I'm not saying that I'm Marcus. I'm not saying I'm a G and none of that or player. I just always laugh, and I think it's funny. Shout out to Pierre, because Pierre's there when that happened. We still
That
laugh
was your
about that
old
to this
sweet
day.
mate.
Yeah, Pierre, my oldest friend. I know Pierre since 1987. And we still laugh about that to this day, because he looked at me. Why did he said it just like Gerard? And shout out to Nate, man, because Nate even told me recently when we was talking about all types of shit that me and Nate talk about. He was like, man, yeah, man, you one of those people always like, unless you like mess with their girl or something. Like I said, I'm retired.
Hey, he stole one of mine one time, but it's cool.
Hey, chill, bro. That's not true. He says this happened. I don't believe it.
Stole one of mine, man.
I don't believe
Lord
it, man.
help.
I don't know, man. He talking about some shit from when I was 16. I don't even believe it. I don't know. But that's not any kind of advertisement. That's just, I can relate to Marcus a little bit. Not any, I was never doing no fake a dog to get your number type shit. But yeah, man. Marcus needs some growth. That's probably why I'm hard on Marcus. I've grown. I deserve the woman now. You know what I'm saying? I deserve Angela. I'm gonna come see about Angela. I'm just laughing at Ray P, man. You funny. Scene Stealer.
I haven't said a word. I have Grace Jones.
You said it with your face. I forgot one quote. If you even turn around and look at her, I'll break your fucking neck.
Period.
Yeah. Grace Jones for your Scene Stealer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at that. School, who you got?
I'm gonna say Grace Jones as well. Even though this movie has 3 scene stealers, like Grace Jones has the most scenes, but John Witherspoon, Grace Jones, and Eartha Kitt both are amazing in this movie.
100%. I have John Witherspoon. Once again, shout out to Jonathan Hicks, even though he didn't have many speaking lines. The guy who played Lady Louise Butler. But John Witherspoon, just because for those who have been rocking with us since day one, Scene Stealer was originally called the John Witherspoon Award because of this film and because of what he did in that scene. It's one of the greatest Scene Stealer performances of all time. So I have to give it to him. But Grace Jones just playing an exaggerated version of herself, being fully committed to it. It's hard to say no to that. She was incredible in this film. Incredible. Hilarious. Any actors from The Wire? No. Soundtrack. 3 times platinum. Highest number 4 on the Billboard 200. Introduced us to a young, unknown Tony Braxton.
Classic.
Keith Washington. He was on the soundtrack. Like LaFace. All of it. I mean, that is one of those. Everybody had the soundtrack.
For sure.
Yeah. Everybody had the soundtrack. Incredible. Is it, I don't know, top 5?
Oh, this is top
soundtrack?
5. Yeah, this is it. I think this was the beginning.
I mean, I don't know.
I'll say it like this.
Purple Rain, Batman. I think those kind of they get forgotten about.
I don't know if you guys know this, but after this soundtrack, this is how record companies are, at least producers, would introduce their artists. They would find a soundtrack and try to, get their current hot artists on the soundtrack to get them to blow up. Biggie, Tony Braxton, obviously, Usher. It's a list of people that were discovered or blew up on the soundtrack.
Yeah, no doubt. And just to clarify, I know I mentioned Purple Rain and Batman. I didn't mean people forget about Purple Rain. I just mean as far as the discussion about it being a soundtrack versus just a Prince album, it is still considered a soundtrack. So, yeah, I think it's top 5 for sure. We'll do an episode one day, just going through our top 5 soundtracks. Maybe I think that'll be pretty fun. Wouldn't let that happen to me. School, did you have anything?
Nah.
Rachel?
Not for real. You can't stop a nigga from doing what he gonna do.
I would just, I would like to believe that I would be a little bit more player than the guys in this movie. Maybe a little bit more conversation, not as much attitude, not as much pouting. But that's me, obviously, looking at it from a full 36 going through life. If I am in the same age period of life as them, and I'm used to getting my way,
yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have acted like them, so I'm not gonna, I'm gonna give them some grace as well. Things that bother you.
one thing that bothers me is the fact that Marcus Graham did not know that Lady Eloise didn't own Lady Eloise products. Like,
Yeah.
that's bad work as a whatever executive.
He was relying on his charm.
Yeah, that's just bad work.
He definitely seemed too smart to not to know those kind of
Yes,
details.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
not
only
the
thing
first
about
person. That's not the first time he's tried to get ahead by using his charm.
Mhm.
And I feel like he should know who's actually the person he needs to be, rubbing
Using
up
it on.
against, if that is the case.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that nigga said
100%.
allegedly. We don't know that's just a rumor.
Yeah, that's just a rumor, man. Two small things, very, very small thing, very nitpicky. One, when Lady Eloise, her first meeting with Marcus in the boardroom, she offers him some beet juice. It's way too light to be beet juice. I know that's very small, but it's like a very light purple,
Yeah.
and beet juice is a dark red. And the other thing is when Marcus checks Jacqueline's feet, Jacqueline is laying on her side, and her feet are upright.
Mhm.
Very small thing, might not even catch the eye of a lot of people watching the movie. That's just some cinephile nerd shit. Not a big deal. Doesn't ruin the movie, like I said. Trivia, you got any? School, you got any trivia for us?
Yes, the Strange commercial is actually a deleted scene from the film. It's the scene where she's in the airport and she gets butt ass naked. And Reginald Hudlin was like, this might be a little too much. So he decided to edit it up and change it into the commercial. So the commercial that you get of her birthing the, what's it called? The perfume is actually a deleted scene from the film. And the other thing that I have is they filmed the scene of Marcus, Tyler, and Gerard. They filmed that in reverse. Far as it cost about 40 to 60 grand to get them to light up the Empire State Building. So they were like, we don't have that type of money. So they figured out a way to film it in reverse. So that's the only thing I have.
I got you. Couple things, some casting things. Jacqueline Breuer, other person considered for her role outside of Robin Givens was Vanessa Williams.
Okay, I can see that.
I can
see that. I can definitely see that.
I could totally see that.
And I could see her doing a very good job.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess.
Yes, I could see Vanessa Williams doing it.
She was good.
School, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a no Mike Tyson jokes on set?
Oh yes, there was. There was absolutely. There was a no Mike Tyson talk rule on the set. You couldn't bring it up at all. Period. And if you did, you were fired immediately. This was right at that time where her and Mike had divorced, and she was famously known as a gold digger. No one that actually helped Reginald Hudlin think that helped with the film, helped people come out to see the movies. They just didn't like Robin Givens. A lot of people didn't. So you know how that is. Your haters is always gonna come check you out. So
yeah, like Andre 3000 said, man, I don't know that woman. Let me quit it. Everybody was on her top. They were on her head. Google it if you want to. That was a lot of controversy. That's a big reason as to why Robin Givens was cast. Because if y'all already don't like her, at least she can be a formidable foe to Marcus.
Yes,
and believable as somebody that could really do this type of stuff that women, quote unquote, weren't supposed to be doing. Lady Ella and Halle Berry, excuse me. She was the first person to kind of read for Angela, and she was also the last. Reginald Hudlin loved her, said that is Angela. He was worried that Eddie Murphy wouldn't feel the same. Eddie Murphy screen tested and said, well, I guess we're done with that because she's definitely getting the role. And this is young Halle Berry. She had Strictly Business. She had Jungle Fever, but she wasn't like this big household name at the time. So this is obviously a huge thing for her career. Eartha Kitt, on the other hand, was the hardest to cast because the script originally had so many vile lines that her character was supposed to say. And she had issues with it. She was offended, actually, that they wanted her to even do a character that had those kind of lines. So they took them out the script. She eventually accepted the role. Yeah, very much a lady. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Oh, they took all of those lines out the script. She accepted the role, and Reginald Hudlin said on record she was one of the best people to work with. Like it wasn't any kind of diva or, because we had a hard time casting her, there's going to be issues on set. She was incredible to work with. So shout out to her. As far as other small trivia, one of the rare films where the title is not spoken in the film. Boomerang is not mentioned once in this film. Most movies, I'd say 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 have the title somewhere in it.
Yeah.
So this is one of those rare films. And there was an alternate ending that was shot where Angela is teaching the kids at the school and Marcus comes in, talks to her, and eventually wins her back. The filmmakers thought it was slow and uninteresting. They eventually came up with the release version where he goes to her and all of that. I think a lot of gripe on Love Jones, which came out a few years later, was people didn't like that. It seemed like Nina was the one that came back, or she's the one standing in the rain waiting on Darius. I think that would have kind of been the same type of gripe. At least make Marcus go to her, show a little bit of effort, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, we get to the end of the episode where we rank the film. I don't even know what to say about this, so I'm just gonna say it. The average viewer, we told y'all about the critics and all that shit. The average viewer rates this film 5.6 out of 10. Let me emphasize this real quick. Let me emphasize something real quick. The Distinguished Gentleman, The Golden Child, and Another 48 Hours, a sequel, all have higher viewer ratings than Boomerang. That's just wild to me. Crazy. Which is why I'm happy that we do stuff like this, so the culture can give them the proper rating versus the saturated shit. Yeah. So I think we all can agree that this is too low. So we'll knock that out now. Ray P, what's your rating for Boomerang?
8.2.
School.
8.2. I swear I was gonna say that.
Do I go 9?
Do you?
Do I go 9 or 8.9? I know we're getting really particular at that point. I think this deserves to be a 9.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that.
I think it holds too much weight in my personal favorites. I'm trying to think of movies we've done. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to all the movies we've rated just to get a guideline on what the highest ones are.
Yeah.
We gave something a 10 out of 10. It might have been Life.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not mad at this being 9. I'm not mad at this
Martin
being
Lawrence
a step below.
Eddie Murphy again.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 9. Straight up 9 out of 10. I love Boomerang. I love rom-coms.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at 8.2 either, because it could have easily been in the 8s also, but it definitely 5.6 is outrageous.
That's crazy.
So no, that was a little bit longer than expected. 15 minutes at the opening. We're just kind of doing pleasantries, talking about unrelated things, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all for sticking with us, man. Love the conversation that we just had about Boomerang. We will continue to release every single Thursday. Ray P, as we got y'all currently discussing Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, streaming on Max. 2 episodes in, there will be 5 episodes to go on that. School 90%, a new podcast that will be rolling out on the Culture Garden feed. We're going to have something for y'all in the next couple of weeks, and then I'm sure he'll let you know what the schedule will be on that. But very excited. We'll talk more about what the concept is as we get closer, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, Culture Garden, Good Earner Sopranos. I'm a part of that. We're on a break right now. Season 3 will be starting August 28th, the last Monday of the month. So we'll get things geared back up. So if you watch The Sopranos and love that show, telling it from a Black perspective, shout out to Mo, shout out to Spike. And I'm sure there will be a lot more things that come from the Culture Garden family as we all spread our wings and kind of discover our talents and how far we can take these things. Looking forward to see everybody do their thing individually. Obviously looking forward to working with everybody and going from there. But we appreciate y'all. Thank you, Rachel, School. Love y'all.
Love you, brother.
Listeners, we love y'all too, man. Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool?
Peace.
Bye.